Everything is not what it seems when you can have what you want by the simplest of means. But be careful not to mess with the balance of things, because everything is not what it seems. Now, if any of you had the childhood I did, you would know that these terribly sung lyrics are from the Disney show Wizards of Waverly Place. And if you listen to the lyrics, you hear the warning, be careful not to mess with the balance of things, because everything is not what it seems. Everything is not what it seems. The idea that everything is not what it seems can be found throughout the everyday lives of most people, because there are a lot of things in life that appear different than they are in reality. You may think one of your classmates is paying really close attention to a lesson, but that hyper-focused look is thinking about what they're eating for lunch. You can believe that person in the car waving you across the street is being nice, but I can tell you firsthand the words coming out of their mouth are not that nice. But one of the biggest illusions out there has to do with the seemingly bloodthirsty killers of the ocean, sharks. And with another movie having been released about a giant killer shark, let me clear the air. Sharks are not dangerous creatures. When most people envision sharks, they think of Jaws or the tragic story of Bethany Hamilton. They think of a gaping mouth with rows of razor-sharp teeth shooting from a dark blue abyss, and they think of blood in the water. Most people have been raised this way, and right now I will show you how the majority of you have been viewing these beautiful creatures the wrong way. Sharks are not the killers that they're made out to be. As I said, everything is not what it seems. So first, let's dive into the history of sharks and examine how they've actually shaped and helped our world, as well as their behavior towards humans. Then, let's go deeper and get a better picture of how those above the surface impact sharks every single day. Then, we're going to make a quick ascent to the surface, and I'm going to show you the reality sharks face. Finally, we're going to look at solutions to the issues threatening the very existence of sharks. So, going into the history of sharks, these guys have been around for 450 million years. They predate the dinosaurs by 150 million years, which is crazy because we're actually alive at the same time as prehistoric creatures. And, naturally, as a result of being so old and surviving several extinction-level events, sharks have evolved into the creatures that we know today, keeping the balance and providing a framework for all life in the ocean as a result of their presence in it for so long. And, contrary to popular belief, the ocean actually needs sharks to healthily function. This is because sharks are what you call a keystone species, which, according to National Geographic, is defined as animals that the ecosystem largely depends on, and would be catastrophically changed or cease to exist altogether should that animal be removed. In the case of sharks, Oceana explains that due to their being in the entire ocean, their elimination would be disastrous to the entirety of the ocean. This can be seen by taking a basic food chain with any given shark at the top. They will eat, say, a barracuda, who eat plankton feeders, which, as their name implies, feed on microscopic phytoplankton. With the removal of sharks, there would be an overflow of these plankton feeders, consuming an overabundance of phytoplankton, which is stated by National Ocean Service provides up to 80% of the oxygen that we breathe. This shows that sharks are essential to not just life in the ocean, but also life above the surface. And that's why we must be careful not to mess with the balance of things. Because to the average eye, it wouldn't seem like sharks have shaped the oceans for the better, but they have, bringing adaptations like camouflage that fish have as a result of protecting themselves from predators. And, fun fact, humans don't taste good to sharks, which is why, in the rare case someone is killed by a shark, it's because of blood loss, not by getting eaten. The shark bites, realizes they're not food, and leaves. And according to National Geographic, sharks kill about 5 people every year. And every death is tragic, but compare that to the 22,000 people killed annually from illegal drugs, and that number seems much smaller. What's crazy is people choose to partake in this knowing the dangers, and the effort to wipe out sharks has been a lot more successful than the effort to wipe out drugs. People make sharks out to be monsters, deeming them mindless killers. However, according to the Marine Journal, 150 million sharks are killed every year by us. That's approximately 270,000 sharks every day, 11,000 every hour, and by the time I finish speaking there, almost 2,000 sharks will have been slaughtered. According to late biologist and shark conservationalist Rob Stewart, shark populations on the whole are down 90%, and for some specific shark species, that number is much higher. Forbes News included that if you remove one species, consequences ripple through entire ecosystems. And right now, we're removing the most important predator that this planet has. Most of this is done through the inhumane practice known as shark finning, in which a shark is brought on board, its fins are cut off, and the shark is thrown back over the side, still alive, because boats don't want to carry extra weight heaving bodies back to shore. And against what many think, throwing the shark back into the ocean doesn't save them. In fact, it's the opposite. And this is why you must remember that everything is not what it seems. The result is this. The shark, unable to swim and therefore unable to breathe, slowly sinks to the bottom, where it is left to die a slow death, being either suffocation, starvation, or being eaten alive by other animals. This is humans at work, because through this devastating practice, shark populations are being decimated worldwide. This is mostly done in order to satisfy the crave for shark fin soup, which is considered a delicacy in many Asian countries, despite its high mercury levels. And despite being banned in many countries, in the documentary Shark Water, when people were asked why finning is okay, they justified themselves, claiming that sharks are bloodthirsty killers and scourge of the ocean. But I've just proven that that's not true. You are more likely to be killed by a coconut, a pig, or a vending machine, which we have inside of schools. Talking about a double standard, it was stated by the World Atlas that 25,000 people are killed every year by dogs, which according to the Washington Post live in an average of 48% of people's homes. Congratulations. By using the logic of shark fishers and most people when regarding sharks, almost half the people in this room are living with a killer. Or multiple, in some cases. But not all dogs are killers. Why are sharks any different? In addition, of the 150 million sharks killed annually, scientists claim they can only account for 70 million of those sharks. What happens to the rest? Well, you have to remember that everything is not always as it seems. Due to its high demand, shark fins themselves are very valuable. According to the Smithsonian, they are worth up to $500 a pound, and shark meat turns up in more than you would think. According to Dr. Diego Cardeñosa of Stony Brook University, traces of shark meat can be found in 1/3 of dog foods and in many grocery stores as well. According to Kaiko Conservation, shark meat is actually being renamed and fed back to us under many other names like grayfish, flake, and even imitation crab, so that we don't know we're eating shark. Within the award-winning documentary Shark Water Extinction, a group can be seen going into Miami grocery stores and listing the different shark meat species being sold, some even being endangered and high in mercury levels, making them toxic. In addition, the documentary notes the shark liver oil squalene is also found in many cosmetic products, especially lipstick. So, if your products contain any of these names, it is a result of this devastating practice. Today, we've learned the harsh realities that sharks face, as well as the realities we face if we don't make changes to save them. But what can we do? Firstly, we must know what we're putting inside of our bodies. Pay attention to the ingredients in your food and products. If products containing any form of shark aren't supported, the practice will slowly die out. Aside from boycotting certain products, it is essential to spread awareness about this issue, because we cannot fight what we don't know is going on. From now on, when you think about these beautiful prehistoric creatures, remember we have the saying, respect your elders for a reason, and that everything is not what it seems. Because the reality is we can create all of the horror movies about sharks we want, but the real horror film is happening right in our backyards, and they aren't the killers. Because at the end of it all, it would take 20 million years for them to kill as many humans as we kill sharks in one. Be careful not to be closed-minded, and remember that reality often appears different than it truly is. As Rob Stewart said, we can still have a bright future if we want it, but we are our own asteroid, meaning while we are the root and cause of the issue, we are also the key to fixing it. We can leave this world better than we found it, but we have to want it, we have to fight for it, and we have to remember that everything is not as it seems. Thank you.